Hi guys, welcome to YILDIZ readings for those of you who are new. So here we have your romance read, but it's not just any old romance read. We try to help to give you as much information relating to your ascension, chakras, balance, empowerment, to get the best out of your love life and to tune into the energy both psychically and astrologically. I also do twin flame coaching and energy check-ins regularly as I am a twin flame. So if you do need a booking, the link is directly below. Please join us as these updates are regular here at YILDIZ readings, and we will not make you wait any longer. Let's get into your romance house and see what could be energetically coming through for you. Love and light, guys. Grab a cuppa, sit back and relax, and let's get into it. Hello Gemini, we are here to do your romance house for twin flame soulmate energies to check in with what's coming through in the month of March. I will do extension reads as well as additional romance. Please stay tuned for your psychic updates for the month of March, as well as the astrology which will be uploaded. Now yes, I do come to you live during the month to do the twin flame updates psychically and astrologically to show where the masculine, the feminine is, where the ascension process is, the Schumann resonance and more. So if you haven't subbed, please sub, and a very warm welcome to those that are new and those that are returning. Now I have pulled the cards on a ruin, and I do have a new deck which I will be using through this read and I will be using during the twin flame reads. Although I'm intuitive, I don't really need the cards, but I do tune into energy collectively with the cards also. So we're going to pull a crowning energy. Now I have pulled the ruin for you, and it is sort of, you're neither here nor there, okay? Upright, to do with the past, the present, the future. You're in two minds. This does connect in with Badger. Daisy, when it comes to love, you know, he loves me not. Day's eye, as well as the element air, and you are an air sign, as well as we do have both Saturn and Jupiter at the moment in a transit that is transforming all of us. Now last month we had a lot of Aquarian heading energy for you. Let's have a very quick look at your chart to get you prepared for the month of March. Number one, you're going to have first house placement because Mars is transiting on the 3rd into your natal first house placement. So again, really pay attention to how you're feeling, how you're showing up in a new vibration. This is going to be a month of intuition. It's a bit like, because we have Mercury in shadow to the 13th, in your spiritual connection and the way you're showing up in the world can almost be hunch energy. A bit like intuitively the power's gone out, you have this intuition into what you need to do, where the candles are, walking around in the dark, but having to follow your intuition in the dark, so to speak. And it will be there until the moon transits through Pisces and we have that new vibration coming through. So number one, I will say with your chart, a lot of the heavy hitting placement has been happening in your 9th house, which is to do with your spiritual beliefs, your value systems, can be things to do with kids and travel, also dealing with very, yes, it could be Mercury energy, but it's more the bigger picture in life. It could have been ending a connection, starting a new one, how you spiritually feel in a sense of resolve. Now, as Mars transits, it's coming back to self. It's like, okay, what do you want now? And I think you'll make sense of it more to do with mid-month over directly having all the pieces at your hand's device, so to speak, and a lot more information is going to start coming at you. You do tend to find during Mercury in shadow, it's not stopped. It's now the pieces are going to fall into place, but they're coming towards you. It can be adversity. It does feel that this month is going to be very different. It's active, it's transformative, but it's not really until about the 13th that we can make some psychological sense of this all. So this ruin connects in with there. Let's read the divinational meaning. Interesting. Let's go back. It is the last ruin in the mystical ruin row that signifies the eternal weaving of beginnings and endings. Okay, so which does really make sense. Okay, you're shapeshifter, right? You're in shapeshifter energy. It can feel like a soul walking. You have to have faith in the process. Sometimes through our third eye, we can really be second guessing that. Are you led to understand what last month meant? And it can be all the way back to last year, because we are going to be having a new moon vibration coming through this month. And it's trying to make sense of everything. What you learned back then to where you stand now, where you're going. Now, because you had ninth house, if you did have a separation, you know, way back when, and you're coming to terms with it and you're trying to get into alignment, especially in your spiritual connection, if you're a twin flame, for instance, you're trying to get anchored and to make sense of things so you can usher a new story in. Yes, that can be with the same person, but it is from a soul point of view, through the third eye to the crown chakra, having faith in that process. Maybe not second guessing it to a point you think that this person is being shady, or they're showing you shadow side, and it's faking it till we make it. It's really doing that hard work spiritually. So this is about an ending of one cycle and a beginning of a brand new one. And we can feel quite uneasy doing that, because we do take on that Virgoian element psychologically for all of us. And we did just have the full moon in Virgo at the end of last month, and moving in, yes, we still do have the resonance of that. So although it was at the critical degree for you spiritually, let's have a look at your chart. Where it comes down to could be home, psychology. Why do people do things? You know, almost when you're getting unhinged and you feel that everything's out of order. If you felt very tired last month and you had too much coming at you, you'll have more energy to achieve that. But we can end up being quite strict with other people around us. It also is where you feel control is out of your hand and you're having to help everyone, or they're having to help you. However that lands, there's a lot of lessons that do come from that fourth house placement. So this is a brand new cycle. There can be transformations happening in that domain. The new day begins at sunset rather than dawn. Thus, darkness precedes the light, and the day is understood as a whole cycle. The full spin of the earth, the 24-hour period, which includes both dark and light, therefore represents a holistic understanding of days rather than a dualistic approach of day and night. The shape of the ruin in its angular form symbolizes eternity. And you could really be questioning that. Is this, is this a divine connection? I mean, let's put the divine to the side for the moment. And I'm not discounting it. I'm asking us to look at this from a spiritual point of view, from a point of view of, it's almost like, black and white, light and day, that there can't be one without the other. But it does mean, you may be feeling this is going to go on forever. Are you ever going to have beautiful days? Yes, there is. There's going to be beautiful days. Hunch energy of what you went through last month and January, plus 2020, where you're moving to is a brand new dawn, and you are really ushering that in. You, at the moment, you might be struggling with that. When we say accept, it's release. It's you've determined the findings. Dana Scully, X-Files. Okay, I've understood that. I've gone through the 7 stages of healing. Faith has no logic. It is. It's through an understanding of an experience. You can step back and you can go, oh, this makes sense. But it doesn't have to, because it's an internal knowing. It's not outside of you. It's within you, and they both will match. I do feel you're jumping in alignment and out of alignment. The moon energy has affected you. You're needing to absorb. If you feel anxious, focus on service. The reason I say that is when we're in the past or the future, we can get very out of balance. And you're not quite sure which one it's going to be yet. This has been going on for a long time. You're about to make a shift in a circumstance. You're trying to make a judgment based on the past. But to make a judgment based on the past, the circumstance needs to arrive at the door. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll finish reading this and we'll get back to that. New beginnings, awakening, transformation, breakthroughs, clarity, synthesis, growth and hope. It's a completely positive ruin promising a new dawn. The emergence of night. It celebrates the mystery of creation itself. The light that replaces darkness. Sun is about to smile on you, and the sun this month is in Aries. So we are going to have an opportunity to realize where we, in a circumstance, potentially had unhealthy boundaries or a fixation belief due to a wound, because we have Aries and Chiron there for 7 years. And because the sun's showing up, it can be our intuition, what we thought versus actually what was. The actions we took due to an experience. Now with Mercury retrograde going direct into shadow for the next 13 days, your new findings, you know, it might be like we say, fake it till you make it. But then when you have a different understanding, your perspective is going to shift. It will serve something, and you are going to usher this new energy in. Try not to make any harsh judgment based on the past. It's there for a soul healing if it keeps coming up. And there is there's a resistance to temptation energy. So you're getting that in order. You're also not allowing the past to define the future. You're coming to soul closure with things. And again, this reaches union with self. This is where you can actually attract positive energies into your life and soul connections. And it's really unique that we do have the infinity symbol, right? But it's in the past and the present. It's written. It's so. This connection, if it's divinely guided, will always be with you. And it's going to come back whole once we reach union with self. So I really do read for soulmate twin flames, people wanting to work on themselves to be able to manifest that in. We've always been manifesting. Generally, we tend to manifest the more malefic sense of things, accidentally so, unconsciously so, due to the fact that when we fixate on a belief, due to where we are in a level, we attract that energy into our life. So I'm always very careful about what I think. Whew, had to learn that the hard way. I do feel, Gemini, you guys... look, I don't know why I'm seeing you guys to be the socialite this month. This can be via multimedia. You could even be really changing things up. But I do feel you're going to attract people into your world. Current energy. Okay, what do they need to know, please? This has been coming up even with my clients, these same 3 cards. Okay, time. Are you trying too hard? Give it time. Now, from this perspective, don't believe me, read it. From this perspective, sometimes faith, we sort of go into this circular loop of going, divine timing. Divine timing is internal, right? The reason I say that is because once you release and you understand and you get the download and you absorbed it like a sponge, and it's the path to least resistance, bang, it's arrived. Shape shifting, it's not something you can fake. It's naturally something that occurs. It's part of your destiny. Third eye clearing. Do a third eye clearing. We had Mercury retrograde. Again, you know, faith and the start, everything is divinely guided. As above, as without, as within. Emotions are reflection. I did make a shirt, I think, on the page where we have shirts and things on the main landing page. I've forgotten the name of it now. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort our perception. Third eye. It's like when you're looking at it from your point of view, look at the past, look at the present. Yeah, you will look at the future. It's natural. But look at the reflection. Have we been where that person's been? And also, what story are we telling ourselves? But also look at it from an external point of view. But not always from one polarity without the other. You can't have the light without the dark. Okay, but they can also distort your perspective and cloud your vision. So it's crown chakra, what we're guided to do, as long as it's not coming from a place of fear, it's coming from a place of what we feel is divinely guided for us individually. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. So, faith, the road to less resistance. All things have its cycles. Yes, we can say half glass full, half glass empty. The spiritual connection. Time does heal all things, and it can be within 24 hours. Try not to fixate on, this is going to take me forever to get this balance here. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims it. It simply allows it by allows and gives. Now, I feel this is for you, okay? For you as an individual to usher this energy into your life. Sometimes it's almost like if a bird is, if it's truly meant for you, set a bird free and it will come back to you. I do see this wish coming through, but be careful what you wish for, guys, because sometimes accidentally we are manifesting. This is what I've been saying, but we haven't been seeing what we've been doing. Let me look where Neptune is. What could be coming up for you? 10th house. Don't do the work for them. Also, understand it takes two to tango. Let's have a look at where Mars is sitting for you, Gemini, first house. You may feel, again, cross wires can be coming through. You also may feel that this individual needs to come towards you. Just be really careful because, again, third eye is perspective and perception. What does Gemini need to know in their romance house, please? What is the energy surrounding Gemini and their love interest? Okay, there is something that, this has come up again. Perspective is everything, but look at the shadow, look at the mirror. The reason I say that is because 2 times now, maturity, ego and belief has been coming up. But I feel it's collective energy. There can be a circumstance that you're wanting happiness. You don't feel this is creating happiness. There's sadness to do with something. This could be yearning. This could be the yearning for this individual to come back. But remember, the ruin is saying this connection is there. It's not necessarily about a perspective. It's about a reality of relaxing into, relax the hold. Like, there may be a lack of communication and confusion. And also, you know, almost like not wanting, an inability to move forward due to a circumstance. This can also be lackluster. Like, you know, 1 minute wanting to communicate, 1 minute not, 1 minute feeling the energy coming in to communicate, 1 minute not. And it just feels like you're 20 steps forward, 20 steps back. But this can be your opinion, not necessarily your truth. Sometimes when we don't see the shift is happening internally, and so we can cast a judgment based on what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're speaking. But what goes on at first goes on inside, and then it comes through in the 3D. And that's even with psychic readings. A lot of times you'll find that a healer, a medium will tell you something, and it's in the ethers. But if you gain attachment to it, and you don't believe infinity, right? If you don't believe, there's a million ways this can go, that's true, but it always takes us to that new beginning. I do feel your viewpoints are maturing based on the past and the judgments you had. Some of you may be reading back on something that you wrote or something that you thought, and you're looking at it totally differently. The joy is going to be in purging toxicity and purging viewpoints, and maybe even choosing healthier ways to deal with the circumstance. Interesting. Now, although I'm doing the extension read, the one message that is coming up is I do feel this individual, if they had a codependent energy like toxicity, addictive energies, I feel it's paused. I feel it's stopped. And I do feel this person potentially is seeing the value in how that is depleting. So it's been a transformation. So that can be a very personal message for one of you in particular, but I do feel that this individual, Gemini, is really feeling that no longer works for them. They don't resonate with it. It was a band-aid, and now they're addressing the devil in the detail. They're like, you know, rejecting that way of being because it was taking them nowhere. It was taking their joy from them, basically. So they're assessing that as a very separate situation. But they're also doing something very similar, wanting to keep toxic energies out and just trying to shift the focus onto co-creative endeavors. I do feel they have been extremely tired, but they've really been plowing through. And I feel they're going to be more in the communication zone, more in the movement, but it can be very authoritarian in nature. Now, if you felt this person was in a karmic connection, you know, this is coming to an end. But we will go into that further into the extension. Some of you are coming to terms also with an ending inside a memory connected to a previous person. And or if you particularly are in a relationship that you feel it doesn't resonate with, I feel it's like brand new. rebirth, brand new. Some people maybe aren't going to understand how you're showing up. They may feel that you have poker face energy, but some of you are being really optimistic. It's like, look, I'm through. This has come up all month. I'm throwing the baby out with the baby water. I'm having a brand new energy. You're trying to focus on your wish. It's sad to let old things go that don't resonate, but new things are coming in, and you know this. You know that the way you're showing up in life, you are actually going against the grain, and it's just called you so heavily so that you feel you've got to listen for your truth, and you've got to do what you feel is right for you. Something's inspired you to do this, and I always feel you do need to follow your intuition. It's nothing you really see, it's something you feel. So you did move through a phase where you were maybe psychoanalyzing the circumstance, and now you feel you have the key to the blockage and you're addressing it. Devil in the detail. And I sort of feel intuitively this creative way of dealing with the circumstance is going to bring a lot of energy towards you. I feel you're ignoring circumstances that don't resonate. You're really fixated on moving forward, and it's actually attracting love to you like honey to the bee. You do feel, look, ultimately speaking, if you want to have this happen and you want to reach soul union, you're reaching it with yourself first. You're going on that journey, you're willing to do that, and that's for your sanity, and it's also for your forward movement. I do feel there can be something very exciting this month happening. There might have been a bit of a hold, and I feel it's potentially in the first week where you feel this push-pull energy. By the time we move through that Pisces energy, I do feel you guys are going to understand what it is and why it has been happening. It is the laws of attraction. It's once you've reached soul closure with the circumstance in the journey, some movement happens, and I do feel there is a lot of mirroring going on. Some of you are going to walk past a mirror and you might have a flash of something, because I'm almost seeing light go past my eyes. Some of you, this person is actually driving past your street, and it's more, I'm seeing a building where you can see cars on the roadside, and I feel this person is actually driving by. I'm seeing a lot of flashbacks. There's a lot of aggressive work. This shift is closer than you think. I will get into the extension. I'll pull one more read because it's like they're coming through now. They're coming through in a channeled message. So don't forget, I do twin flame reads and you get the whole read. You know, if I have extensions for the twin flame reads, it's usually it'll go through into the twin flame room. But generally I do the whole read there and then with the current energy. With these, yes, I am doing them in an extension sense, they are quite time consuming and quite fatiguing really, but nevertheless it is what it is. It's energy and I'm following my guides. So okay, what do you need to know? Oh, that jumped out. I just keep saying the both of you in duality. You don't need to rush. It's coming towards you. I do feel the circumstance, and this was one very strong energy, which I will put in a channeled message, and I may do it today, ready for moving into March, is a lot of circumstances that feminines endured was so that we could help the masculines move forward. And it wasn't that it was an intentional thing. It was an actual cutting us from the circumstances to usher that energy in without having attachment. So it's, ascending, moving, but knowing, don't get the notion of weight as in weight, physical weight. It's always show up in your life day in, day out. But if we're taking that like I have to, that's where the purge of faith comes, but it's an egoistic experience because we feel we're leaving a person behind. Infinity is, yes, there's a million ways this can go. Try a new way of doing it. And it may be detaching from the term weight, but also taking time, looking at where we can extend time spiritually and psychologically, where we shift our perspective onto it. But I do feel, Don't throw the baby water out with the, don't throw the bath water out with the baby. I do feel between now and the 13th there's going to be a shift. With that shift, I do feel in a prospective sense, you potentially may get more information coming through and see a shift with this individual. I am seeing communication happen. We will get into your extension rate to see what your counterpart energy is feeling with this circumstance. If you do want to join us, the link is below. Please stay tuned for these last messages that are important relating to this month. Have a great month, guys. If you do want a private booking, the link is directly below. I will come to you regularly live throughout the month to give you the psychic energy updates, your chakra reports, the Schumann resonance, the astrology transits, as well as anything else I feel you will directly require through this month. Now, it is a very fast-paced month. Try and get grounded through the process. Due to the fact that we have the North Node in Gemini and we have planets transiting into the energy of Gemini, we can come across quite forceful. So that will be for all of us collectively. Most of us are going to want to stay out of drama, so keep safe and let's ascend.